Where's your head at? How you feeling for this upcoming weekend's event, the 10 Planet Qualifier at 10 Planet HQ for the EBI Absolute? So if you win the qualifier, you get to go to EBI Absolute in October. Um, yeah, how you feeling about it, man? You think you're ready? You ready to go? Like, where's your head at?
I'm very excited for sure, man. Like, I feel like definitely would be like the biggest tournament I've done up till this point, and I'm just glad I was able to get on it and got the opportunity to like step up. I feel like it's really sick, and all that's left to do. I mean, we've been training hard, working hard, all leading up to this. For you know, it's almost like everything has been leading up to something like this, and so all the groundwork is laid into just going out there and performing. It's just
Yeah, I definitely think you're gonna do good. You've been working really hard. Uh, you're progressing really good, like consistently. Like so, you go do a competition, and we'll take that data that we get from that competition, we'll workshop all that data, and we keep doing that, and you just keep progressing because you competed so much, and we keep putting in all this extra work in. You only been training jiu-jitsu how long now? Not 2 years yet. Like what? Year and a
fun. Yeah,
half?
about a year and a half now.
Yeah, a year and a half, and you're already done so much competitions. I kind of lost track at this point. Do you know how many matches you've done at this point? To this point, when it comes to jiu-jitsu,
Like 90
it's been a lot.
somewhere around.
Yeah,
Like definitely like 50, over 50.
yeah. It's such a big number we forgot pretty
Yeah.
much, and that's all rule sets too. You've done
Mhm.
different a lot of different rule sets. You've done sub only. You've done um, different points tournaments
Yeah.
that have different rules.
Mhm.
So you have such a variety of across the board of different jiu-jitsu competitions you have done already. We traveled a lot, for
Yeah.
competitions in different states, and we had different looks. And you just someone that's been super consistent since you joined jiu-jitsu, and you've been striving for this opportunity, and you've been working really hard, and you feel like the best you ever felt, man. Like when I roll with you now, it's like, man, I'm just trying to survive, and it wasn't like that when you first came in.
Not even
When you
little.
first came in, I was able to put it on you,
Oh,
and now it's like I'm lucky to survive around and not get submitted. So um, I think you're doing really well, and I just want to keep seeing you continue to go down this path, and I really believe you can be one of the best in the world one day. You just have to stay the course, and you have to stay healthy. That's
yeah.
going to be sometimes a challenge in our sport is people staying healthy,
Yeah, for sure.
and we just got to do our best to keep you healthy. Um, what are some other goals you would like to accomplish? This year is almost over, but do you have any other goals you would like to accomplish this year? Um, um, was it excluding the EBI?
Yeah. So those are definitely the big ones. That's where like all the attention is at right now for sure. I feel like then after that we'll see what opens up. I don't plan extremely like heavily for the future ever because life changes so much. Things happen, you know what I mean? And so many opportunities, especially the ones that we've had, just kind of like fell out of the blue. Like, oh, next week there's a thing. You're like, want to do it? I'm like, fucking yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? So staying open and staying adaptable, I feel like, and especially in this sport, is the way to go rather than just being like trying to be all extraordinarily structured. As long as you continue to train hard and you're staying disciplined in that aspect, you should always be ready for something. You know.
I know, like we have potentially a few more tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what happens in the EBI tournament. I know we want to try the ADCC Rules Tournament in Denver, ACC Open in
Yeah,
Denver.
that'd be
I
fun.
believe it's November 19th, and I think I did the ref seminar for that ADCC in Vegas, right? And so they were saying that they plan on doing ADCC Open tournaments throughout the country, right? Like all around the country. And I definitely want to get you as much experience in that rule set as possible. So every time we see an opportunity to do that rule set, we should definitely try to make that happen. Just because like if you want to do trials in a few years from now, I definitely want to see you be really comfortable under that rule set, because it's a really unique rule set. It's a lot of interesting rules that you have to kind of get used to that are very unique to that tournament.
For sure.
So we definitely want to try to hit those when we can. Now, as far as like random super fights that may pop up, you just never know. I know you're hungry for those opportunities. So if you promoters, if you see this, he wants some super fights. Give him a super fight.
If y'all got heavyweights,
yeah,
I'll grab one.
there you go.
That's pretty much it.
It doesn't matter if it's in the cage, right? Like if it's just like a jiu-jitsu super fight at MMA card or whatever. Like he just wants to do jiu-jitsu super fights. Fight to win, we're gonna try to do that too, as much as possible when they pop up. It's just sometimes scheduling is a little rough for us on those, because sometimes they tend to be on like Friday nights, which is a little rough. If it's on Saturday, we can probably make it happen, but Fridays is a little rough for Onyx. Yeah, man, it's been a amazing journey to this point, being your coach, and seeing you really trust the process and just go for it. And it's really nice. What do you think about our team? How are our teams growing, and the people that you're training in your wrestling class, and also like the other people here? Do you feel like they're starting to compete a lot too, and really kind of follow the path as well?
Absolutely. And I go back on what you said as well. I appreciate you being my coach. I've never had a coach like you in my life. I think it's definitely been huge help. I don't think I'd be as good as I am now without you as a coach, and if I stopped by any other place. I think this is where I should be. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the team and stuff. I feel like we're definitely seeing big influx of more competition focused people coming into the gym. You know what I mean? Just from people that I've recruited myself, being a whole bunch of college wrestlers. As many as I can try to get in the room, I'll try to. And even after that, then the people who are newer coming in here, as far as the culture that we're developing, we're very competition focused. We're trying to be good. We're trying to train hard, train seriously into becoming great grapplers. And then the new people coming in that are seeing that, and that are feeding off of that energy too, and they see the amount of competitions we're doing, the amount that we're winning. You know what I mean? I feel like that all it's creating more and more of that. So the quality in the gym just keeps rising. Everyone just keeps getting better and better, and I think it's leading to a really good spot. And then definitely next competition season, where we'll probably get back more on some traveling type stuff. We'll definitely see an influx of people who want to do that as well, who want to take the big step and try their hand at those big tournaments, those bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. I think we have a lot of momentum right now, and there's a handful of people that definitely want to chase that competition goals with you. So I think we're going to have a nice traveling competition team next summer. That's definitely the goal for sure. Now, as far as becoming an instructor, how have you been liking that? How's that been changing your training? The pros and cons of it, or hopefully you feel like it's benefiting you in your jiu-jitsu, and your learning jiu-jitsu. Because I feel like that was the best thing I ever done for my jiu-jitsu, was become an instructor, and that made me more accountable for really analyzing and learning and understanding the techniques, and it actually made me really have a nice progression, learn really quick. Now I can dissect moves and learn moves really quick now, because I understand how to teach them. I get mental reps every time I teach someone and critique maybe a mistake they're making. It's like also like correcting those mistakes for me in my game as well. So yeah, how to teach and how do you like it if it's making you better, that kind of stuff.
Definitely the transition was like weird at first because I was again from being like a competitor for all of my life, and then now going into being a coach as well is definitely like a adjustment period, like thinking of like these lesson plans and like figuring out what is good for people who are new to wrestling, new to jiu-jitsu, and trying to like determine that. And I know for myself, I spend a lot of time reflecting on every role I've had, where I'm like thinking about like, okay, what did I do? What went wrong? What went right? And like trying, like even if it's like a one-sided, there's still things you can learn from that. You know what I mean? There's things that you might not have accounted for that you still reacted in time, but then why did you react that way? So I definitely try to think as much as possible. And now I'm on like the other side of that where I'm doing that for other people's matches as well. And also like reflecting on like and trying to describe the ideas that I have in my head out loud. And I think it's making me appreciate the techniques in a different way and also understand them better too. Because now I actually have to verbalize all of these things that I just be having ideas of, you know what I mean? And I think it's actually making me better at jiu-jitsu and wrestling just by having that like more analysis and trying to outwardly express that.
Do you see like a long-term future in like teaching? Did you ever like want to like maybe after the end of your competition career just be a teacher?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think, what's it called? I've been definitely having like ideas of that. I remember I've been watching a lot of videos and like, I think a big influence for me has been like Khabib and like his father of Abdulmanap and like the program and stuff that they had out in like Russia and stuff where they had like the people would like live there with them and they train and you know I mean it was all very like structured and regimented, you know, just to keep them out of like getting all this bad stuff. And then and you know I mean even like in Thailand I know you described where like all the people would like live in the gym and like they're like you know I mean really focused in on pushing towards that goal and then they fight and make money and do all the things they need to do with families and stuff. And I think that is something that I would have loved and needed is like or would have definitely wanted. And I think creating something kind of akin to that where it's like because I mean like I feel like a life a lot can drag people down and you get caught in like patterns of negativity in like bad places where you will put yourself in like perpetual suffering and it's hard to see like an out. So I think a separation from like society for a little bit and doing something that's actually beneficial for you where you're like, you know, I mean, leaving all these other distractions and like all these other things to the wayside for a little bit to really just like meditate and focus and dial in on something that's benefiting you and then a lot of time for reflection in that as well, even if it's just like a couple weeks or like however. I feel like that's something that I would have definitely wanted. And I'd like to create something like that at some point.
Oh yeah, I think you will, man. I see. Like, I really want you to specialize in a lot of different things, but like obviously, no gi grappling is what I want you to specialize in. I also like want you to be really good at cage wrestling, and I want to like pro MMA fighters seek you out so you can teach them how to cage wrestle really well. I really think you can your Greco style and you being really good with your upper body, takedowns will really benefit from working on the cage and stuff. And I think once you kind of like fine tune those techniques more, I think you're going to be really good at all no gi grappling, but really really good against the cage. And I think we're going to see more opportunities that you may have with the cage. I know one championship, they do stuff in the cage. I know high rollers do stuff in the cage. I know there's more MMA promotions that are starting to like
Submission Underground.
Submission Underground was in the cage. Yeah, so I feel like you can, because once you get a hold of someone, you usually you usually throw them. So that's going to be, I think, something that you're going to really be amazing at. You're going to be amazing everywhere, but that's one thing I think people are going to seek you out so you can really help them develop that as a teacher one day, and then doing that not only doing it because you love it, but also doing it for as an occupation, as you're going to be that good at it, as long as you stay the path, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Teaching is not for everyone. It's something that it takes a while to get out of your shell and feel comfortable and not awkward with it. It took me a while too, so I definitely understand that. But yeah, man, you're doing amazing. Is there any other long-term goals besides? I know we have ADCC trials, and we definitely want to try that.
That's the big one.
That's the big one. But is there anything else that goals-wise that you want to kind of commit to making right now? it's kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
I know you say you're not like a big future planner kind of guy, and that's that's all I do. That's all I do is I think about how we're gonna get where we want to get to, right? Anything that rings a bell that you want to do you like where you're at physically right now? Do you want to gain weight, lose weight? What do you like where you're at?
I mean, right now physically I'm floating at 245. I feel like I'm at a good weight for myself. Most of it is just continuing on everything I'm doing. Continue the strength training, continue the jiu-jitsu training, continue my wrestling training, continue with even the nutritional side. You know what I mean? Just all of these things to continue to push because I know I'm going in the right direction, so I must continue on that direction. You know what I mean? Have no moments of wavering, and even if there is a slight dip, we will immediately bounce back and continue. You know what I mean? And that goes in all things. The amount I'm competing, the amount I'm training, just continue. Keep climbing up and trying to pass whoever is in front of me, and then if anything, maintain that gap or increase it as I continue to get better and better.
Yeah, for sure, man. There is one goal though that say I want to see you on top of that leaderboard in grappling industries.
Yeah,
I know it's a silly goal, but
it's funny.
We're gonna get that.
Okay, the thing with the grappling industry ranking, I'll be honest. All right,
we're gonna get that though,
because it's a point ranking thing, and so I'm apparently ranked 6th in the world in grappling industries because I've won tournaments and stuff for blue belt no gi, and so it's weird because I don't know anyone else on that leaderboard. I haven't faced any of them. You know what I mean? So how am I ranked above or are they ranked below me?
I guess what I like is how active you are.
Yeah,
I think
that is a reflection of it.
That's what I like. Almost because how active you are, how much you win, how many submissions you get, and you constantly do your weight class, absolute. You're constantly trying to do as much as you can, and you do it throughout the whole year. Only a year and a half in jiu-jitsu, and he's racking up a lot of medals, a lot of wins, a lot of the wins by submission. You're super active. A lot of these people are not active. Yeah. A lot of these people are just only want to do big fights, big stuff. They don't want to go do your local tournaments, and I feel like that's why you're starting to pass a lot of people right now because they're not as active as you. And you're so active that when you go compete, it's no big deal. You can handle all the nerves, you can handle the competition setting. You're just focused, dialed in a lot more than a lot of these people. And so when they compete against you, that's I feel like one of the mental edges that you have going into competition is knowing that you compete so much more than everyone else, and we're so much more fine-tuned, right? But yeah, so I know it's a silly thing, but I do want that. I do want that for sure. I want you to be on top of that leaderboard, and Does it mean anything? I don't know. Probably doesn't lead to nothing, but it's just more of a like a Xbox achievement or something.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like achievement goals things, you know. Like
Yeah.
right when you get it, it's gonna like pop up.
Yeah.
Xbox achievement.
In the little corner.
Yeah, a little corner, exactly. But yeah, that's all it is. It's just a fun thing to chase, and
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's my advice to you is keep having goals. Like keep having short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. And long as you have a goal to chase, you'll keep going. You know, once you start having nothing to chase, you're gonna start to lose interest. And you're gonna start to fade away. And but yeah, you're doing amazing, man. And
There's one other goal.
Oh,
I think,
oh,
I forgot.
uh-oh.
Well, dream like matchup, I guess, that I really wanted was Nicky Rod. I really want to face him badly.
That might happen.
That's the goal for sure.
Yeah, if you win qualifier and you have and he I don't know because like I think usually in the EBI because like in 10 Planet right we'll get like one goes to the best guy. This one spot goes to the best guy, which is, I think is Kyle Bohm.
Yes.
Gets that,
Yeah.
and then the other goes to the qualifier winner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you win the qualifier, you and Kyle Bohm will be on one side of the bracket. More than likely, they'll probably put Nicky Rod and whoever else on the other side of the bracket. And so if you both make it to the final, y'all can fight.
Mm-hmm.
So well, hopefully that happens. That comes true. Hopefully you can give a good match against them. At some point, I think you guys will fight. I think there's not a lot of high-level heavyweights, so there's still like it's a decent amount, like, but to the point that once you get to that pro level, you're gonna have those opportunities, And I'm sure one day you might fight Gordon. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you might fight his teammate, was it Big Dan or
Yeah.
whatever, right? So I feel like you're gonna eventually get to that level that you're fighting these guys, and we're just gonna be ready to go at that point. You're already progressing so much. I feel like you're already ready for those type of guys right now. But if it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer. But we'll get there. Yeah. Do you think you can beat those guys?
I want to fight him bad, and that's the goal is to beat him for sure.
Yeah, confidence is key. But yeah, man. Thank you guys for supporting us, watching our videos, and and we're just going to continue to keep doing our thing. If you guys are interested in potentially, helping us out, sponsoring us, contact us through social media, and we're definitely going to start hitting it harder next year, and we're looking for some bigger sponsors. So if you guys want to sponsor us, let us know. Okay.
It'll all go back into competing more.
Oh yeah.
Get like traveling so we can fight more, so we get better.
Oh yeah.
That's
Definitely.
what it is.
We're gonna be releasing, instructionals hopefully soon, and that will be a way for you guys if you guys want to purchase those. That money goes to, for us to compete and stuff. So, we're just gonna keep going, and we're regardless of the outcomes of any tournament, we're just gonna keep going, and that's all it takes to get to the top. You just don't quit. Just keep trying your best, keep learning, keep getting better. Don't quit, and you'll eventually get it, man. I know it's very cheesy. what I'm about to say. You know what a black belt is?
What?
A white belt that's never quit. All right. Anything else you want to say to everyone that's watching?
Keep grappling.
Oh, there you go. All right. Kuna Matata.